right, I'm Larry Jones. I am the IT network administrator for the Greeneville City Schools. I've worked here 27 years. My task obviously is to manage the network, all of our servers. We run around 70 servers. We're a one-to-one district, so 3,000 Windows machines for all of our students, 550 laptops for our teachers. Right now, I'm managing around 900 iOS devices, and that's primarily what I use FileWave for. We probably are going to ramp up and start managing a lab of Macs with those because that's right up FileWave's alley, and will make management of those devices a whole lot easier. I've been in IT for 42 years. Came to this district, as I said, 27 years ago, and it's been a heck of a ride. We had always struggled as we first began adopting iPads. We got a cart of iPads for our high school for a specific class project, and I quickly saw that it was going to be really difficult to keep those things where they needed to be manually. And so we started, as probably most of your customers did, with Apple's solution, and found that it was cumbersome. And so I began looking for an MDM, and we adopted one that was free, that was offered by then vendor of ours. And then we also were a beta tester for one that was offered by the company that was doing our content filtering at that time. And none of those really scratched where we were itching. And so I looked at another nationally known product and really liked it. And just, I don't know, their business practices just got more and more frustrating. And I began looking for a new solution and found FileWave. And it's been an excellent fit for us. It does what I need it to do, and it just works. And that's one of those things that's really important to me. It's what I call fire and forget, that I want to deploy a solution and then have so much time go between the next time I log in that I've almost forgotten how to use it because it just worked. It allows me to obviously to deploy apps to our users. Even for our adults, we allow them to log in with their personal iTunes accounts. But then there are some apps that need to be provided by the district. And then there are some paid apps that an employee might need. And obviously, we want to maintain ownership of those apps. And so the integration with Apple's iTunes store allows me to get the apps that we need and quickly deploy them. The beauty also is that it's a force multiplier. Without a solution like this, it would involve me going over and signing in to all of those iPads, typing the password on every one of those iPads, and then making sure that it got installed. Whereas with FileWave, I purchased the app at the App Store. Within a couple of moments, it's available to me. I download it, push it to my apps, and it's just done. And so we're a small team, as you heard how many devices that we're supporting. There are 5 people on our team, including me, 6 if you include the CTO. And, obviously we need something that will let us do, more with less. And FileWave really lets me do that. I'm not a real fan of what we call a flat file structure where all of your users are in just one big flat, directory. And so I use a lot of subdivisions of things like that and organizational units. And FileWave's groups allows me to build those groups to make it look like the organizational units in Active Directory. And so if you know that I work, for example, at the central office, then you know where in FileWave to look for my devices. No, it just made sense. Once I made the first group and began, seeing how they worked, I probably had my initial setup done in an hour. And then the rest of it was, okay, let's go wipe all of these devices because I'm putting them on a new MDM, But I mean, just the fact, and let's just use our tech team. I'm pushing a new app to our tech team, and there are 15 people in that group. So without FileWave, I would have to go and manually download that app on 15 devices. Well, no, over 30 devices, because everybody on that team has at least 2 iOS devices. The support techs are top notch. They know the product, and beyond that, all of the ones that I've worked with have at least a basic knowledge of stuff beyond FileWave, if that makes sense. I mean, so many of the vendors that I deal with, their techs only understand their product. And I mean, I was working with a vendor a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know how he thought our data got to him. I think he thought the data fairies brought it in at night, but he had no understanding of how data got from a program inside my network to a server inside his. And, it really makes my job harder when I have to train the guy that I called for support. And I don't have to do that with FileWave. Your guys know their product and understand computing. They've obviously been involved in IT long enough to have a good understanding of the devices that they're supporting and how they work. And it's just refreshing. That one is pretty huge. I mean, we're a small town. The population of our town's around 15, 16,000. The furthest school away from me is 7 miles away. So I could be there in 15 minutes, but that's 15 minutes on the road and 15 minutes back that I'm not doing something else. I'm tied up in my car and I can't help someone while I'm in my car. And so for a teacher or an administrator to say, I need this app, and it literally, can be on their device within probably no more than 5 minutes, is huge. And, one of the things in public education is we work with students that have challenges, and there's a particular app that we use with nonverbal students that is an extremely expensive app. This app is $250, but it allows those nonverbal students to be able to communicate with their teachers and with their peers. And for me to be able to get the request to go purchase that app and put it on a student's device, knowing that within 10 minutes, this child is going to be able to communicate in a way that they've never been able to communicate, that really, it really pushes the importance of what you're doing. It is good that the process is not cumbersome, that when these emergency needs come up for whatever reason, that within 10 minutes that I don't have to invest half my day into, satisfying my customer. And then the other, beyond that is that it not only works inside my network, but outside. And so if the teacher is at home at night and needs that app, I can push it to them and they'll get it. I enjoy using FileWave. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is probably, let's see, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, our 5th MDM. And we have been with FileWave longer than we were with all of the others combined. And I enjoy working with FileWave because it just works. And that's, to me, at the end of the day, that's what I want. I want it to just work. Now I keep the FileWave admin console open on my machine all the time, but I might go a week without going into the admin console if somebody doesn't need a new app or something of that nature. An iOS update hasn't dropped. But I enjoy working with FileWave because I can do those things as one person instead of having to send an email to the schools and say, okay, Apple just dropped a new update. I need you to go make sure it's installed on all of these machines.